Okay, my lovely friends, it is Thursday, July 9th, 2020, and this is my post-market wrap-up. What a day we had today. I have a lot to talk about. NASDAQ, another record high for the NASDAQ, although the Dow Jones Industrial Average did fall under pressure, but way off the low. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down like 575 points at one time during the day. And yes, it did finish lower along with the S&P 500. But again, let's just talk about this. The fact that the broader market did close lower should be no surprise to you. Why? Well, if you were watching the 10-year yield today, you watched it drop. 0.60. Very simple. But again, you got the Fed buying everything. And yesterday we heard from Bullard, Fed President Bullard, the Fed's going to continue to buy. It's unlimited. And then we had Steve Mnuchin today, who came, as a matter of fact, let's put a little perspective on that. All right. This market wasn't doing too badly early on. And then the thing known as Steve Mnuchin, he had to sit there and lie. And I mean lie after lie after lie in front of the camera. And the market realizes that this is propaganda. All of it. It's lies. We're going to talk more about that in a moment. And the market reacted negatively right off the bat, soon as this thing opened its mouth. Okay, it's also part of the unhuman. It's not human. Okay, neither is Larry Kudlow. We'll talk about him in a moment as well. These are the creatures that they float out here during the day. Again, this is just the new normal. Okay, so anyway, like I said, stocks finished mixed. New record high for the NASDAQ, Dow lower, S&P lower. 10-year yield got hit pretty bad. Cryptos got hit. Gold got hit. Silver got hit. Crude oil got hit pretty bad. And guess what else happened? There was a little knee jerk into the dollar. So what does this mean? I mean, you should know if you follow this blog. If you got the 10-year yield dropping and you got that knee jerk into the doctor, Dr. Fauci, did you hear him today? All the crap coming out of his pie hole. We'll talk about him in a moment too. But knee jerk into the dollar, it's fear. The market runs off of two things, fear and greed. Fear is stronger. Take advantage of fear in this market, people. When you got a runaway Fed determined to finish its final solution, to be the lender and buyer of last resort, to own the world. So when you see things like this, to me, in this environment, it's a buying opportunity. As a matter of fact, I added to several positions today. And if you are a subscriber to my newsletter, it's 100% free. There's a link in the description of this video. You know exactly what positions I'm in. You know exactly what positions I added to today. And I'll tell you something else. Ask anybody. There are over 30,000 people who follow me on my newsletter. I have not had yet one single realized loss. Not one. Not one. My record is the best in the world. Honestly, you can't do better than 100%. Not one realized loss. Still sitting on a few positions, waiting for them to pay off or not. But as of now, not one loss. And don't take Greg's word for it. Take it from any one of the 30,000 people that are following me in my newsletter down here. You should subscribe to my newsletter. If you don't, you're missing out on a lot. And it's free, so you have nothing to lose. So what I want to do here, my lovely friends, is do a little blow-by-blow again, because today was one of those days where it's just, the truth is stranger than fiction here. Going back to Dr. Fauci real quick. Again, I don't talk too much about this guy, but it seems that almost none of you trust a word that comes out of this man's mouth. I asked on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and on my chat room and my website, traderschoice.net, also free. Do you trust Dr. Fauci? And I think 99.9% of the people said no. So that says something to me. He's part of the crew, the things in this environment. All right, now let's go back to things in this environment. Now, again, earlier, like I said, Steve Mnuchin decided to open up his pie hole. And this is what he said. Mnuchin says that even though airlines are slated to lay off tens of thousands of people, the government support program for these airlines has been a success. Oh, okay. How does that work? Maybe you can tell me because I'm not too bright. Let's move forward here. This is very sad. This is the data that from Yelp. All right, we all know about Yelp. 53% of restaurants that have closed during the scamdemic are not coming back. But if we go on here, let's move on to Larry Kudlow. Larry Kudlow has something very nice to say. Let me find it. Larry Kudlow, here you are. The economy is off to the races. V-shaped recovery. People, look, between Steve Mnuchin and Larry Kudlow, they're both not human beings. You have to understand that. I don't know who is more demented. Let me ask you, let's take a poll. Who is more demented? Is it Steve Mnuchin or Larry Kudlow? I mean, I think they're both massively demented. One of them from chemicals, and I think we know what I'm talking about here. Maybe, Steve Mnuchin's got the same problem. It's pretty epic. So we got more layoffs in the thousands here. Banks are laying off people. But according to Larry Kudlow, we're off to the races here. You can't make this stuff up. All right, let me get out of this real quick. Anyway, so what we need to understand, you and me, okay, and I think you do if you follow this blog, you need to obviously watch the 10-year yield. It's a big tell. It's probably the biggest tell anyone will ever tell you about in this market. There's no doubt about it. But the fact of the matter is this, and I firmly believe this with everything that I have in my body and soul and brain and everything else here. We have witnessed the Federal Reserve's balance sheet go absolutely parabolic, straight up. We went from $4.5 trillion to over $7 trillion in the blink of an eye. It literally went like this, straight up like that. And this is just the beginning. It's just the beginning here. I don't care what they want to tell you. I don't care about our politicians, the White House calling for a cap, a $1 trillion cap on the next $1 trillion that they're going to be, putting out here to stimulate the dead economy that apparently Larry Kudlow is saying is off to the races. Well, let me ask you, if the economy is off to the races, why do we need another $1 trillion? Again, chemically induced brain damage. And this is the economic advisor to the President of the United States. Do you think there's something wrong with that picture? Yeah, I think so too. But, talking about politics here a little bit, it doesn't matter, again, who sits in the White House. You already have Biden coming out talking about at least $700 billion more cash borrowed out of thin air for this market. I mean, it's not going to stop. It doesn't matter if it's President Trump, Joe Biden, don't matter. More money on a scale that you cannot even believe is going to be thrown at this market. Again, what are we in the middle of? We're in the middle of an extinction level event. The middle class is being decimated, wiped out. Extreme haves, extreme have-nots. That's what this is all about. You should know that. And it's about control. They want to see what they can get away with here. Okay, all the fear about the virus. You know, what is the one thing that's missing from every one of these articles and commentaries about the virus? How about the fact that you have an immune system? Don't share that. Don't share this video with anyone, because they're not supposed to know they have an immune system. That, you know, for healthy people, let me put this into a perspective for you. And I know I'm going to get beat up by the trolls, but I don't give a damn. Do your own research on this. If you are a healthy person with a non-suppressed immune system, with, let's say, no comorbidities here, like diabetes, hypertension, other kinds of things like that, the chances of you catching this disease and dying from it are astronomical. Astronomical. But you can't know that. You're not even supposed to know you have an immune system. No. You're supposed to believe that this covering your face is going to help you. Meanwhile, we got the World Health Organization now telling us it's airborne, and you know it could cause all kinds of other issues and brain damage too. You heard about that one. You can't make it up. The environment we are in is so twisted that if you were to write this down between everything that's going on, no one would believe it. They would really not believe it, but that's the case. It's the truth here. All right, look. I think I covered a lot of important stuff in this video. Let's keep our eyes on this stuff. Watch. You know where to look. You know, not only do you know where to look, you know what to do from every angle. I told you, I got your back. I will never let you down. You know that. And we need each other through this kind of nonsense and propaganda and fake news. You want to talk about fake news? There has never been in the history of the world a White House with more fake news than this. Let's just go back to Mnuchin today. Or how about Kudlow today? Never. This is hands down, the winner of fake news. It's ironic that term was coined by the president, isn't it? All right, look, anyway, like I said, it don't matter who sits in this White House at all. With regard to this market here, all it cares about is more easy money. And it's going to get so much more easy money that it hasn't even begun yet. It has not even begun. The Fed is not going to stop inflating this market until they're ready. And when they're ready, that will be when the extreme wealth transfer occurs, okay? When the middle class will be gone, decimated, finished. Because again, they're all looking at their 401ks, those members of the middle class that do have one, or anyone who has a 401k or an investment that only makes money when stocks go higher. They're looking at it right now and they're like, oh yeah. But I guarantee you, none of them, or very few, maybe a fraction of a percent are smart enough to pull it at the right time. But if you follow this blog, you're going to know when that is. I can promise you that. All right, again, long video. I'm out of here. Love you a lot. Please share the video. See you in the morning.